I'd like to call the May 4th, 2021 board meeting to order. This meeting of the Sugar Grove Village Board will be held as outlined in Public Act 101-0640, which waives the Open Meetings Act requirement that a physical quorum of elected officials be present to hold a public meeting in the event of a public health disaster declaration and a determination by the village president. Governor Pritzker issued a statewide disaster declaration on April 30th, 2021. In a response, President Shawn Michaels determined that an in-person meeting is not practical or prudent at this time. With that, I would like to have everyone stand and I'll lead in pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Allison, roll call, please.
Trustee Montalto?
Here.
Trustee Cook?
Here.
Trustee Heron?
Here. Okay.
Trustee Lendy?
Here.
Trustee Conan?
Here.
Trustee Walter?
Here.
President Michaels?
Here. Thank you. We have no public hearing, so appointments and presentations. I'll turn it over to the newly elected to have the oath of office.
Go outside.
Okay. I guess we'll take an adjournment because it's going outside.
I think Tony is.
And Walter can hear you.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
I, Jennifer Conan,
Having been elected to the office of village president
having been elected to the office of village president
in the village of Sugar Grove,
in the village of Sugar Grove,
in the county of Haverford,
in the county of Haverford,
solemnly affirm
Brian and Jamie?
Bless you. The idea of bless you with the wisdom and godly character is to serve the village residents of Sugar Congratulations.
Mike and Ted?
Having been elected to the office of village trustee, having been elected to the office of village trustee, village of best of my ability. Having been elected to the office of village trustee in the village of Sugar Grove in the county of Kane, aforesaid,
Solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of village trustee
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of village trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're going to continue the board meeting inside.
Let's get started. We're back on appointments and presentations. We've done the oath of office and now the declaration of emergency and executive order. On March 17th, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Village Board President Michaels issued a disaster declaration of emergency to protect the health and welfare of residents. While the threat of the pandemic still remains, due to the change in various laws since the onset of the pandemic, along with the increasing knowledge of the virus, its transmission, and treatment and prevention options, I hereby declare the termination of the March 17th, 2020 disaster declaration of emergency and issue its replacement, which allows for continued exemptions to the Open Meetings Act, allowing for remote attendance at village meetings as allowed by state statute, and the continued coordination of emergency response efforts with the state of Illinois, County of Kane, and other local governments. This declaration and order shall take effect immediately and shall automatically renew so long as emergencies continue to exist, as declared by the President of the United States and the Governor of Illinois. Honoring public service. I'll open the packet. Okay. Appreciation of President P. Sean Michaels. Yeah. Hello. Appreciation of President P. Sean Michaels. Whereas Sean Michaels was elected in 2001 to serve the village as president, and whereas Sean was first served on the Village Public Works Committee from 1995 to 1996, on the Village Finance Committee from 1996 to 1997, and was elected to and served on the Board of Trustees from 1997 to 2001. And whereas Sean's many contributions include working with the Village Board to achieve adoption of the first village boundary agreements, Fox Metro annexation, building of the Public Works facility, building of sports complex, building of water treatment facilities, transfer of parks to Park District, paving and improvements of municipal drive access to Village Hall, reconstruction of Main Street and Snow Street, signalization and extension of Municipal Drive, signalization at Dugan and Route 30, signalization at Bliss Road and Sugar Grove Parkway, SSA number 2 and SSA number 1 reallocations allowing development along Sugar Grove Parkway, update of the comprehensive land use plan, the zoning ordinance, and the Route 47 development standard, and construction of the I-88 in Illinois full interchange. And whereas Sean was instrumental in the forming of the Metro West Council of Governments and served as its president from 2019 to 2020. And whereas Sean has been an active community volunteer outside of his village service, participating in programs for the Sugar Grove Park District, Caneland School District, Hornboyle, and many others. And whereas Sean's appreciation of life and community and his spirit of volunteerism shone through in his commitment and devotion as a public official, And whereas the above, as all his contributions will continue to have a positive impact on our community far into the future. Now therefore, be it further resolved by the President and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sugar Grove that we recognize the achievements of P. Sean Michaels and salute his dedication and commitment to the Sugar Grove community. We furthermore express our sincere appreciation, as well as that of our residents, or citizens rather, for his long and distinguished service to the Village of Sugar Grove.
Thank you. There was one on there that really hit home was the baby of the municipal drive out front. That brings back a lot of memories. So, I don't want to take a lot of time to run this about the accomplishments and going over so many, and I apologize. I believe that the open space retail, the roadways, all the building that has occurred since 1997, and yes, the architectural shingles, be my legacy, thing that people can see. I do want to take the time to thank many people I've worked with over the years, my role in the Village of Sugar Grove. Brent and all the staff members and all the co-workers. I've always been honored to represent everybody, all the employees of the village. It's been a great honor. Past and present board members, especially Marie Johnson and the late Bob Bowler. I always appreciated the various walks of life that each of the board members came from and that brought a variety of experience to the board. All this helped shape the decisions in making sure growing right. The consultants, in particular engineering enterprises, Michelle, Dave Burrows, Pete Wallers, and all of them, thank you. And then, Laura, I don't have all the names, but the law firm of Mickey, Wilson, Wella, Weiler, Anderson, and Julian, and I know I'm forgetting you. Thank you for all your support. My wife, Valerie, and our 4 children, Abby, Nicholas, Madeline, and Sophie. Sophie wasn't even born when I was first mayor. Who listened, gave advice, and shouldered the responsibility of being the first family for 21 years. My father, Jim, my mentor, he led by example, serving in community organizations, showing that to make a difference, you have to be actively involved. And that as a leader, you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and make sure that you can tell yourself you made the right decision, and that despite what everybody else says. I wish the best to the future board and thank the residents for giving me the privilege to represent them for the last 24 years. So thank you. Best of luck.
Don't want to lose the agenda, which we already have. You're right. There it is. Thank you. Okay. Appreciation of Trustee Rick Montalto. Whereas Rick Montalto was elected in 2009 to serve the village as trustee, and whereas Rick first served on the Village of Sugar Grove Public Safety Committee for 7 years, and chaired the Village of Sugar Grove Police Commission for 5 years. And whereas Rick has been active with youth baseball, basketball, and soccer for many years, and has supported the Caneland Schools Sports, Fine Arts, and Music Boosters program. And whereas Rick was a founding member of the Groovin' in the Grove Summer Music Concert Series. And whereas Rick's community spirit and volunteerism shone through in his commitment and devotion as a neighbor and public official. And whereas Rick earned the admiration of his fellow board members, Sugar Grove residents, and the village staff. And whereas the Village of Sugar Grove is proud to have this opportunity to recognize Rick as an outstanding community leader. Now therefore, be it resolved by the President and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sugar Grove that we recognize the achievements of Rick Montalta and salute his dedication and commitment to the Sugar Grove community. We furthermore express our sincere appreciation, as well as that of our citizens, for his long and distinguished service to the village of Sugar Grove.
I'm going to keep it short. I just want to thank everybody. It's been a great run. I'm still going to be around. I'll still participate. But I want to thank the people who put their trust in me for the last number of years. I want to thank the state. We couldn't do, we listed all the things that have been accomplished over the years, and we couldn't have done it without the staff working on it 24/7. They are the ones that really keep the village running, and we're the ones that are kind of out there in public. So thank you, staff. Thank you for being as talented as you are and as dedicated as you are. And thank everybody for all the years. All I can say is don't take ourselves seriously. Enjoy the ride.
Appreciation of Trustee Ted Cook. Whereas Ted Cook was first appointed in 2015 to serve the village as trustee, and whereas prior to his service on the board, Ted served the village on the police pension board, and whereas Ted has been active with many different youth sports, including basketball, football, and baseball, and whereas Ted is a life member of the Sugar Grove Historical Society, and whereas Ted is committed to promoting Sugar Grove businesses as an active member of the Sugar Grove Chamber of Commerce. And whereas Ted's community spirit and volunteerism shone through in his commitment and devotion as a public official. And whereas Ted earned the admiration of his fellow board members, Sugar Grove residents, and village staff. And whereas the village of Sugar Grove is proud to have this opportunity to recognize Ted as an outstanding community leader. Now, therefore, be it further resolved by the President and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Sugar Grove that we recognize the achievements of Ted Cook and salute his dedication and commitment to the Sugar Grove community. We furthermore express our sincere appreciation, as well as that of our citizens, for his long and distinguished service to the Village of Sugar Grove.
I certainly didn't expect this. It's very kind. You didn't have to do that. It's been an absolute pleasure to serve. And thank you for everything you've done for me through the years. And just an absolute honor to serve those in Sugar Grove. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you all. Continuing with the agenda, we have public comment on items scheduled for action. Tonight we have on the consent agenda approval of the minutes from the April 20th, 2021 village board meeting, approval of vouchers, an ordinance declaring surplus property, and a resolution authorizing purchase of a replacement mower. Also, under general business, we have a resolution authorizing purchase of LED replacement street lights. Do we have any public comment at this time? I don't know. It looks like we have, oh, Michael, you're on. We have a few attendees. If anyone has Allison will get on, but if anybody online has a comment, you can raise your hand feature and you'll be called on. We do have a few residents in the audience. Do we have any public comments? And no comments online, it looks like. Okay, moving on. On the consent agenda, we have approval of the minutes from April 2021 Village Board meeting, approval of the vouchers, ordinance declaring surplus property, and a resolution authorizing purchase of a replacement mower. Would anyone like to remove an item?
I'd like to remove vouchers.
Okay, removing B.
And Jen, the minutes were, there's 2 amendments to them. So when you can approve it on there, you just have to say with the amendment for Matt, Anastasia, and the clarification of item 9A comment by Shawn Michaels.
Okay, is that, hold on 1 second. Okay, so can I get a motion approving the consent agenda with the amendment to the minutes to reflect President Michaels stated that the village board should consider selling the 18-acre village-owned property on the northwest corner of US 30 and Municipal Drive to future developers, and also to reflect that Finance Director Anastasia was present in at the last meeting, and we will be removing the vouchers right now. So I'm sorry, I'm asking for a motion to include all of that and remove item B. Can I get a motion?
I'll second.
First by Trustee, I'm going to blame White, and a second by Trustee Heron. All right, roll call, Allison.
Trustee White,
Aye.
Trustee Heron,
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
Trustee Walter,
Aye.
Trustee Shomas.
Aye.
Motion passes. General business, we have a I'm sorry, vouchers, thank you. Discussion, Jamie.
Can I please let the record reflect that I'm recusing myself from the vote on vouchers because there's a check in there for me for my work on the planning commission.
Okay, so Trustee White is recusing himself from this vote. Can I get a motion to approve item B, vouchers?
So moved.
Trustee Karen. And a second?
Second.
Trustee Shomas. Roll call, Allison.
Trustee Heron,
Aye.
Trustee Shomas,
Aye.
Trustee Walter,
Aye.
Trustee Lundy,
Aye.
and Trustee White is abstaining.
Abstain. Motion passes. Under general business, we have a resolution authorizing the purchase of the LED replacement streetlight. Tony?
Yes, this is to participate in ComEd Energy Efficiency Program and install LED streetlight retrofit in the Windsor Point subdivision. It's a total of 59 streetlights with the purchase of $17,889.98. The ComEd incentive is $5,256. We're doing this as our pilot program subdivision, and after the subdivision is completed, we intend to continue adding other subdivisions in the village after we complete this pilot program.
Do we have any discussion?
I have a question. When I do these from hardware store, they say they're going to last this long, and they last much shorter. Have you looked into any other communities that have used these? Are they holding up the way they say they are?
These are the ones that participate in this program. They have to select number of streetlights that actually meet their criteria. And based on the information and everything we've heard from other communities, these have been holding up.
If they don't, or who replaces that? Is that through ComEd? Will they replace it?
Or will we be on?
No, we're purchasing these, we're only getting a rebate back from
Okay.
them.
So any maintenance would be on us then?
Correct.
For the product? Okay.
I have a comment. I'd ask for the specs of what the lights are. As we know, LED bulbs there's a wide range of color temperatures of bluish, warm, and all that. So I was curious. I did some research of what street lights in LEDs people are, what's best, what people like the most, and all that. And so I looked and I saw that we were signed up for 3000K, which is what is recommended. Anything above that, they don't recommend. So I'm hoping we make that a standard going forward, just making sure that that's the same kind of lighting. It's actually the American Medical Association actually came out with an official statement saying don't go over 3,000. There's been other residential communities where they've switched out to LEDs, and they're the higher color tint, 5,000, 4,000, and residents have complained and they had to replace them. And so hopefully we can make that a standard. Just kind of sensitive to that because we can sometimes see light that's just not pleasing or it's hazardous to the environment is actually what some of this research said. So.
And obviously there was $30,000, I believe, through this would be a Matt question, right? $30,000 through a rebate program for this.
So the 30,000 that's budgeted is
Energy civic contribution, which is part of the municipal electric aggregation program.
Okay, and so we're using roughly 12,000 is what we're saying. So the concept being just to test it and
Correct.
move on from there. Okay. Any other discussion?
How long will we test it? Maybe we'll have another parts of the village.
We'll know right away. Once we finish that subdivision, I think we'll see, solicit any feedback and go from there.
Okay, so we're not going to leave it be for a year or two and see what sort of.
It's not again. If we're satisfied with it, then I'm adding another subdivision this year. Okay.
Yeah, if I can just add, I think one of the other things is this project, you're purchasing the equipment and replacing it in-house with village staff. Technical expertise to do that, but with Tony wants to evaluate how efficient that is, but it's a village operation. So we may go forward with the next phase, actually contracting out installation as a possibility.
How long is it going to take to install? Or is that part of it?
We hope to have it installed in 2 weeks.
That's great, Mike.
Once we receive them.
Heidi, do you have any discussion on this?
No, I think everyone's answered a lot of my questions. I'm kind of excited because I'm in Windsor Point, so.
You can tell all your neighbors. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the resolution authorizing purchase of LED replacement streetlight?
Stated.
Second.
Allison, roll call. We have a first by Trustee Shomas and a second by Trustee Heron. Roll call.
Trustee Shomas,
Aye.
Trustee Heron,
Aye.
Trustee White,
Aye.
Trustee Walter,
Aye.
Trustee Lindy.
Motion carries. Okay. We have nothing scheduled for discussion this evening on the agenda. Report, staff report. Tony.
I'm happy to report that I'm still excited with our CMAP local pavement management plan, and then the next week or two they're supposed to have their special ban out. We do have it posted on the website to inspect all the streets in the village, so that's moving forward, and that should be completed in May, the actual assessment, and then hopefully we'll have a draft report by June. So I'm excited to get that. And that's, oh, yeah, one more thing. The 2021 pavement program will be listed on the website that we approved a couple of weeks ago, and that should be starting as soon as this week, but by next week. The impacted areas have, we have sent a letter to the residents in those areas that this program is impacted.
Okay, excellent. That's exciting. New roads. Anybody have any questions for Tony? Frank?
Two things. One, we're still going to hire part-time deputy clerk position. So if there's any community members or even outside the community that are interested, information on our website. It's 12-hour a week, somewhat flexible hours is what we're looking for. And then the village did receive a formal application for the Prairie Grove Commons development, which is a primarily retail commercial development on the west side of 147 South Walgreens. The formal application is not complete, but we did that before it was submitted. So we have covered the staff review of that project. I think that when we get the balance of the application, I would anticipate hopefully that we can have something before the board, hopefully in June. It's really going to depend on the timing of when we receive the development.
Okay. Well, it's good that they finally lined up and so to speak. Anything? I'm sorry. Does anybody have any questions for Brent? Did I cut you off, Brent? Do you have anything else?
Well, I probably stole Walter's item.
Matt?
The only thing we had, Lauterbach and Eamon on site today to start the audit. Everything went well so far today. They'll be back the week of July 19th for, right now we're looking at maybe 1 or 2 days. We've been able to successfully get everything done through a portal to have everything done virtually since last year. So everything seems to be going forward. Everything is also going forward with all the actuarial studies as well for the year end.
Excellent. Do we have any discussion or any questions for Matt? Hearing none. Okay, thank you, Matt. Chief?
Thank you. So just a couple of highlights in my report is that the department members are recertifying in CPR, AED, and basic first aid. We're grateful for the Sugar Grove Fire Protection District that's providing the training to us. I can't believe the 2 years have already gone by, but time is flying. With COVID restrictions, we are able to get about 7 officers in each class. And so we've gotten 2 groups through, and I believe we have another group to get in. And then we should be all current with our certifications. And just as a community note, back on April 24th, we participated in the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Program. And during a 4-hour event, it was pretty impressive, 27 pounds. That's correct. 27 pounds of prescription medicines were turned in during that period, which is pretty amazing because if you look at a pill bottle and you think about the weight of what those pills are, just the volume is just it's impressive. And for those that don't know it, we have the prescription mail take back mailbox that's in our front lobby. And since our last collection date, we had collected an additional close to 143 pounds. So that Monday following the take back, we brought close to 170 pounds of prescription drugs to a location that the DA drop-off has for all of law enforcement. So in Sugar Grove, since the last prescription take-back initiative, we collected a total of 170 pounds through the community and the adjacent community. So thank you.
Well, it is pretty impressive, and just a reminder to residents not to throw your prescription medication in the garbage can and to dispose of it properly. So that's just a nice reminder, and clearly we have our residents doing that. So that's great. Does anybody have any questions for Chief? I just wanted to acknowledge your department and thank you. I'm sure this just slipped Michael Shomas's mind, Trustee Shomas, but the two of us are in line together at the middle school, picking up our children. And I know I've spoken to you about it, but if you can pass it on to your department and the officers that have been there, I think they're, it's like herding cats at times, but I think that they're doing a great job. And I know I've been trained. I can attest to the fact that Trustee Shomas has been trained because he's in line and we're following direction. And the officers were not there today, and it seemed to have gone off without a hitch. So yeah, you just gave a thumbs up. So it seems to be working. So we appreciate your efforts and the department's efforts to try to clear some of that cluster up at the middle school. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Walter.
Yes.
Last but not least.
Well, Brent did steal most of my thunder, but I will add that we've been having meetings with Ryan Holmes in preparation of them submitting their proposed building elevations and models that the village board will have to approve before we can issue a building permit. And we're scheduling that meeting for next Tuesday with the village board. Yeah, that's all I have.
Does anybody have any questions for Walter? No, hearing none. Thank you, Walter. Trustee report. Did you have something else, Walter? I'm sorry.
No. I just said you're welcome.
Oh, I think, it's very quiet. I wish we could make this a little bit louder because I'm sure it's hard for you all to hear too. We'll do trustee reports. Heidi.
I have nothing to report except for I just wanted to thank Sean and Rick and Ted for their service and everything. So it's greatly appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Trustee Walter?
First, it's great to be here in person, seeing everybody here. It's quite an awesome thing. Looking forward to it here in the future. I thanked three public servants privately. Sincerely appreciate, and combined years of service between the three of them is immense. And I know sometimes people think this is a thankless job, but I think they can attest to that it's very rewarding in many ways. Sometimes difficult, but certainly appreciate their many years of service and wisdom and all of their expertise. So that's it.
Thank you. Trustee Heron?
Same thing. I talked to Sean, Ted, and Rick and thanked them for their service. And I told Sean's dad, Mr. Michaels, that I also have their phone numbers. So should we need any help, they'll be on speed dial.
We know where they live.
We do know where they live. So again, thank you for their years of service and all that experience that they had and shared.
That's great. Well, Trustee Shomas.
Yeah, I don't think I could say as eloquently as some of the other members that are here, and certainly the words that you shared, Jen, with what was being read off. For me, myself personally, it's great to be here. Looking forward to getting started and what the future has. It's an interesting time to be looking backward and forward at the same time, but looking fondly over the time of the other individuals. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Trustee White?
I think I share the sentiment. I've sat in on a lot of board meetings over the 20 years, and it's a lot of great memories, a lot of great trustees and friends we've shared as well. Sean has done a wonderful job. Just really commend him for what he's done. Also, Ted and Rick and others. And I really look forward to what we have before us. So, I'm excited about it. Also, something happening in town. J.A. Bear is hosting a blood drive on Saturday. And they're having airplane rides, they're car show associated with it. There's going to be 4 different bands there playing. It should be pretty exciting on Saturday the 8th.
What time does it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
So,
they'll be there all day. That's what's going to happen. Really?
It's like the second year that they're doing it. It's taking off rapidly. No pun intended.
Airplanes other than jets? That's pretty much all right.
No?
No, they're doing the right to the kids.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I hate it.
That's something fun for the community to look forward to, right? There's no restrictions and anybody can go.
8 to 3.
8 to 3, everyone, 8 to 3 at the airport on Saturday, the 8th. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, do you have anything else you want to add?
I think that's about it.
That's it. Thank you. President's report. I do share the same sentiments as all of you. Sean, he did right by the village. He served us for many years, probably more than most would ever even dream of serving, and he did it well. And so we thank him for that. I thank him for that. And Ted and Rev as well. I mean, they served a long time as trustees and then outside of their municipal work, right, and other committees they've been on. And I don't think that they'll stop doing that. You know, I think it's at that point it's in their blood. It's who they are. And so we look forward to what else they have in them and what they will bring forward. But I wanted to thank them personally as well. I also wanted to thank the residents of Sugar Grove for electing me, trusting me, and allowing me to get to work on their behalf. So I'm excited to do that. I think it shows in the simple sentiment that we have 4 board meetings in May. So we are starting off right. This board is committed, and I thank you for that. Sometimes you can look at me and say, well, 4 meetings, but we've got a lot of work to do and a lot of catching up to do. We have a newer board, myself included. So we do have some things that we want to get down and get figured out. And so I thank you for your time and your efforts in moving forward with those 4 meetings. I wanted to let the public know, the residents know, that I do have weekly meetings with all department heads every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. So those will be continuing. It's a nice way for me to know what's going on in every department, what's happening with the village, and not waiting, a few weeks or that kind of thing. So that's nice. I also do, and so you all know, I also do 10 o'clock meetings on Thursday that are economic development meetings. And that is also with staff, not with the EDC. At the moment, these are just with staff. And part of that is also, we had kind of an impromptu call with Charles with Next Site. So we contracted with Next Site to be our retail recruiter. So we spoke with him, I want to say almost 2 weeks ago, and then we will speak with him again on Thursdays. So he's already got contacts and he's talking to different landowners, and he has developers interested in our community. So we're looking forward to that meeting and that conversation and see what has happened and transpired in those 2 weeks. So just so you know, I will be reporting on both of these things of what's happening, but also you've probably seen that any information that we all ask for, Brent is very quick to send to everyone. So at any time, if you see your question asked, someone else might be thinking it. So Brent is firing responses back to all board members. So you'll probably get an influx of emails, just so you know. And we got to figure his email out with trash, right? A lot of stuff goes to junk. Yeah, so we got to figure that one out.
Not the good half though. I still get the junk mail, but so I have to scroll through the trash, pull stuff out.
As the residents probably know, I did want to report that we did receive 13 total applications for different board positions, for a trustee position, as well as plan commission and police pension board. So we are going through those applications. All the trustees have received those applications. We'll discuss those, and then we'll have interviews. So I'll be personally calling those folks and going through that process. So look forward to it. If you're on this call and you put in an application, you'll receive a call from me personally. So thank you for doing that and for applying. And I can tell you, and I'm sure you all feel the same way, that the applicants are very qualified. We have a very diverse community that has a lot, comes from so many different backgrounds, and everyone who submitted an application is deserving of a position somewhere. So we will go through those and figure those out, and we thank you for your application. Exciting, last Friday, I was able to attend an open house with with Representative Wheeler. It was a nice opportunity for me to meet with other elected officials. And I was able to meet, Mayor Irvin, thank you. And we're looking forward to setting up a meeting, so that's good. We do have the airport here, so that would be an important one. They've already made that contact, so Allison, I know you're on listening, but that would be a good one to set up too. On Thursday this week, I'll be attending the Women's Council of Realtors for Fox Valley. They have a mayoral panel. I believe all the mayors that are going to be there are Elburn, Sugar Grove, St. Charles, Geneva, Batavia. I hope I didn't miss any. I know those 5 will be there. So that is on Thursday. I'll report back. That's really an opportunity for everyone to share with that group of realtors what's happening in our communities, if there's new development happening and opportunities for them to sell property and that kind of thing. So we will be giving them an update on Thursday, or I will be. I also, as some people may or may not know this, but on our village website, there is I don't know exactly where it is, Allison, so if you chime in, there's an item that tells you, I think it's right on the homepage of the Adopt a Highway program. We did put that on there for Saturday of last weekend, week and a half ago, almost, week and a half ago. And I had Courtney Ganella, Abby Ganella, and my daughter Lily and I cleaned up from Prairie basically to the BNSF Railroad and back down again the other side. It took us almost 2 hours to do what we could there. And so what I would say is I think I was bit off more than I could chew when we adopted the highway from Bliss Road all the way to Prairie. And there is a lot of garbage that you wouldn't even realize is on the side of the road. So if we can get residents and they reach out to me directly, or staff and they can forward you to me, but you can reach out to my email. And if you're interested in doing community service and adopting the highway and setting a scheduled date, whether it be a Girl Scout troop or a Boy Scout troop, any troops, church groups, there's a lot to clean up on our main Illinois 47. So it went well, but there's a lot more to do. And then also I attended the Reuben in the Grove meeting, and I'm happy to report that they will be moving forward with their concerts this year. So their very first concert is June 17th at the library at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8:30. They'll have food trucks. They will, I believe they're working on snow fencing because there's capacity even outside. So they've done the square footage of the area, and it sounds like they can still have a pretty good turnout for that concert. So it'd be nice to get back to a little bit of normalcy with that. So that's all I have. I thank you all for running for the board, and I think it's going to be a wild ride together. So thank you all. Do we have any public comment? Yes.
I wanted to say congratulations to Trustee White, Trustee Shomas, and to Trustee Karen. Welcome to the board, and special congratulations to my friend Jen. Expectations are high. A lot of residents are looking forward to what is coming. Everything that has happened in Sugar Grove is great, but residents are looking forward to what's next. So be prepared. We have a ride in front of you, but we're supporting it.
Thank you.
I just have a question regarding the development that's coming. How is that information going to be disseminated to the public? Is there going to be weekly updates, or how's that going to work?
Are you talking about a specific development in particular?
Yeah, one you were just talking about. I'm a little lag behind there. I thought you were saying that they were going to be working on the development coming up, or in the future. It doesn't matter when. I'm just saying, will there be more information out there where you kind of follow along to see how it's being set up, the progress, and some of the details?
Yeah, I think, I mean, as staff knows, we are going to try to be as open as we possibly can. We're going to have to figure out the best path to getting more information out there in advance. Part of it is at our board meetings. Brent talked about that property on the corner on the west side of 47 and Molina Boulevard. That is something that's actively happening at the moment. Brian, maybe you can explain it a little greater detail as to where they are in the process and at what point it'll come in. I mean, he said it's going to come in front of us in June, but I'll let him add comments.
Yeah, the area we're referring to, west side of 47, south of Galena, so south of Walgreens. The total parcel is right around 40 acres. They submitted a formal application for a section of it, a little bit more 10 acres, approximately. Basically the corner, so that would be the southwest corner, and then going a little bit west on Galena and a little bit south on 47. So they're looking for, what we have to say is kind of typical corridor retail, possibly a fuel station, gas station at the corner. One of the big items with it is that make the development feasible and successful. This developer, as any previous one we've talked to, has mentioned that they need a curb cut on Illinois 47, partially down the way. So there is an IDOT approval process that has to take place. The village will be making that submittal. The anticipation is that entrance will be a public street that would potentially continue west, but the working name for it is Community Drive. I should have mentioned that's what we're referring to. And where we go west, and then division behind Walgreens would go south, and that would go an intersection in the property. So right now, like I said, they have submitted most of a formal application. They do not, the application does not include the names of end users. If you want to do it in a typical commercial development where there would be a list of permitted uses, types of stores, that property has an existing annexation agreement. It was already in the village, but they're requesting to amend that. I think over 10 years ago, they anticipated would be a big box retail would be the main anchor. As we all know, those are very solidly built these days. So there are items in the, based on the original site plan as well as what were likely or desired uses at that time may not match current ones. So it would be an amendment to the agreement for the use list and some of the other standards for property development. We're in the process of reviewing everything from setbacks, easements, to sign regulations, to the use list. So there's a lot there to go through that we're working on. So yeah, we'll, it's, as mentioned, we will, it's going to be a work in progress and how to better communicate.
That's included in tip 1 for that.
It is in tip.
Oh, the original one, 91.
Yeah, the developer has, that's actually part of tip 1. As part of the property that was the emphasis Morgan one, that property used to annex the Fox Metro Sanitary District. So the fees to develop that property, the costs are greater than you would typically see, and that was the original reason for that TIF district. The developer has indicated that they do plan to request financial incentives. We haven't seen a request from them at this point in time. The existing annexation agreement did include sales tax incentives. The time period for that is quickly coming to a close. It was an extended time period again based on a big box component. So we anticipate that they'll come in for some combination of TIF and probably sales tax incentives, but we have not seen a request.
Brett, is that the same property? The developer came in, he wanted to do a strip mall, and it was a soil issue?
There was a developer for us approximately a year ago who was looking at that same property. And yeah, the soils in that area, there's a relatively high kind of oversugar growth, groundwater table. So there may be some development issues. Obviously, when we're doing commercial, typically it's slab. So I'm not sure. Looking at only how far down they're going to go for foundations. They're fully aware. We believe it can be done. I mean, again, it wouldn't be shocking if they just part of the Senate request to say that the soils are bad. They are, for that purpose. So, but that's the same. George Hayes, I think the name of the company was about a year ago. That same property.
So it's built.
properly?
Oh, yeah. Well, the engineers are like, everything's gold, money was, but they go out into the ocean. Yeah, it's gold, but. Correct.
Do we have any other public comments?
May I comment?
Absolutely.
My name is Jim Michaels, I'm a trustee at the Washington College. And we're having the first ever Washington College Foundation walk, run, and win a 5K event on Saturday, June 9th. And there is a charge and almost scholarships at the foundation. Thank you.
Is that on the website from Wabansie? Is there somewhere they can, the residents can get that information?
It's on the Wabansie Foundation website.
On the Wabansie Foundation website, there is a walk run. Trustee Heron, what was the date?
June 19th.
June 19th.
At 9 a.m. on the college campus.
At 9 a.m. on the college campus. There is a fee, as most races have a fee, but if you want more information.
The Sugar Grove campus?
Yes.
On the Sugar Grove campus. Thank you for sharing that. That's nice for our community as well. So for you avid runners out there or walkers who want to participate, that's a great event to go to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comments? Hearing none, we'll close that portion. Anything online, Allison? I'm sorry. No, I'm hearing none. We'll close that. Okay, for airport report, I did hear from Joe Wolf that they are not having any airport meetings until at the earliest August. So they have not had a meeting, to my understanding, since last February. But they will not be having any airport reports. Okay. I would like to request a motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to we do have to go into closed session tonight, so I'd like to request a motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to the exemption of the Open Meetings Act to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, and other qualifying matters related to specific personnel and public officers, with no action being taken in adjournment there.
That motion?
Trustee Heron first, and Trustee Showman in the second. Roll call, please, Allison.
Trustee Heron?
Aye.
Trustee Shomas? Trustee Lendy?
Aye.
Trustee White?
Aye.
Trustee Walter?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you all for attending.